it is one of the object-oriented programming language where you can create object code very easy. So whereas in C you don't have that much, you have a limited capability. Like you can only create and you can only create functions. You can't tie the data and the code together. Correct? So that is one reason to learn Python. And one more reason to learn Python is it has extensive library support. Extensive. You want to do something, you want to do some image processing, you can use Python libraries. If you want to do some data analysis, you have an Excel library which can read, write Excel, modify Excel files. It has a matplotlib which is an extended library for data interpretation. It has NumPy, pandas for data analysis and everything. So it has an extensive library support. So that is the second reason why companies have adopted Python. Also, I am guessing all of your ECE. Come on, what? Yeah. AML. Okay, AML. Very good. So ECE and AML. So AML anyway people will learn Python because it's useful to you to write software to create models which can take sample data and train the model and everything. But even for ECE people, it is very, very important. Please don't think that I am an ECE person, so I work only with hardware. No. Having worked in Qualcomm, having developed hardware chips, I know that how much automation is done in Qualcomm, and I myself has personally created a lot of automation scripts in Python. So it's very important. And in fact, I think you have completed ECE, you might have completed circuit analysis and everything, right? Circuit analysis, mesh analysis, nodal analysis, everything. And what is LY electronics? No. Okay. Display electronics? Display electronics? No. Boolean algebra? So all of these things, PSpice, like you can write wonderful code like PSpice using Python. There you can define your nodes, you can define your meshes, you can define your components, and you can write beautiful code in order to solve the circuit by itself. The only thing is you need is a library solve linear equations, and that will be available. Okay. So now so let's dive into Python code then. Okay. So one more question: does anybody know who is Alan Turing? Yes, particularly AML people. AML people, please. Who is AML? Come on. Yeah, Alan Turing. Yes, come on. No? Okay, Alan? Anybody wants to take a guess? Anybody? Alan Turing is the architect of the modern computer. Okay? So he is the one who figured out, like, modern computing is like processor, RAM, and the secondary storage, memory hierarchy, and the RAM and everything. So that is thought of by Alan Turing, and also he's also very famous for the Enigma machine, which cracked the cryptographic code of Germans. Okay, the World War II. In fact, he is the main reason why the elite forces won our axis power in the World War II. And our institute is named Dr. Alan Turing. Okay, so that's why it's student technology. It's just a kind of introduction. Guys, are you able to hear me or any problem hearing me? Please do tell, because this is starting of session and we have a lot to cover. Everybody is able to hear my voice? Yes. Okay, let's start the very basics. Everyone knows all this, like what's a program. A program is a sequence of instructions and specific tasks. And the grammar of programming language is called syntax. You guys know that, right? And I want to ask you one question. What's the difference between a compiled code and interpreted code? What's the difference between a compiled code and interpreted code? ECE compiled code and interpreted code?
Compiled code.
What do you mean by that? Come on. Please speak out. Speak out.
Man, smarter.
If you know the answer, please tell. Okay. What is the output of compiled code? If you pass through a compiler? Yes? Come on. No. So compiled code, yeah. So let me get. So compiled code is actually converting your source code into binary directly. You won't be reading line by line. So once you have compiled your code and you have your binary file, like text file or like this instructions, whatever you have, if you execute it directly, it will be run. Whereas an interpreted code reads the code line by line. Okay. Now which is slow and which is fast? Very good. Compiled code is fast because it directly converts into binary and it executes. There is no relation. It performs a lot of optimizations. It removes some. The compiled code is very optimized code. Whereas interpreted code, you just read line by line. So Python is an interpreted language. It doesn't mean that it doesn't have its advantage. It does have its advantage. We'll see. Okay. So yeah, you already know this, right? The syntax. You need to follow the syntax, and if you don't follow the syntax, you can get an error, and you need to fix the errors. Okay. Okay. This is an example of a real-world example of your of a program. Okay. Okay. Is it a, can you write this program? So you have car fancy numbers is how much? How many numbers?
4.
So I define the fancy number as the total amounting it to 9. Okay. And if the amount is totally greater than 9, suppose if the total if you add it and it crosses the 9, like 12 or 13 or something, then you have to add the digits again. And if it is 9, so if the recursive sum is 9, then it's a fancy number. So this is an example of a problem. We'll see. Okay. So traditionally when we start any programming language of an old program, okay? Print is the command which is used to print any string on the command line, So print hello world prints the hello world on the string. Okay. What's the data type? So data type refers to the type of data that is being worked on, correct? The type of the data that is represented by the variable, correct? Correct? Every variable has a data type, correct? In Python, do we need to declare data types? Then how does Python know? It infers the data type it infers the data type of the variable by the data that is provided. Okay? Now. Okay, so let's go into little bit of quick explanation of the data types. You know numeric data, okay? You know Boolean data. How many values does Boolean data have? True or false. Very good. And you know text data, the strings, yes. You have floats. Floats is what? Floats is the decimal data. Very good. Doubles. Same decimal data with increased precision, correct? Great. Yes. Now long integers, integer data with increased range. Great. We have complex numbers. Python have an extra data type for complex numbers. Now these complex numbers, you might have studied your first year. How many have studied linear algebra from mathematics? I might have already, right? With actually I have trouble deciding between ECE and AM. The complete batch is AM.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no problem. Next. So Python is now how do you determine the blocks of code inside Python? By the amount of space that it is having from the beginning. I know you know all this, but for the completion of the course, I am just going from the beginning. Okay.